MCU's a phenomenon that's captured us all the way from 2008's epic Iron Man to Avengers Endgame and to, this.
Oh, hell no, man. What the man?
Anyway, what I mean to say is that Marvel movies, for the most part, have been a revolutionary and critical section of the modern film industry, and a lot of that has to do with being badass. So today, we'll be discussing the top 10 most badass Marvel movie scenes. Be a member of the channel, and also like, share, and subscribe, otherwise I'm gonna send MODOK to haunt you under your bed. Kind of hard to believe that the beloved sequel to the OG X-Men film is turning 20 years old. However, I'd argue X2 was already a classic simply because of this epic scene. Nightcrawler might not find himself on top of your list of favourite X-Men, but his White House invasion has surely got a rank as one of the most badass scenes from the franchise. The German mutant might not be in his senses here, but hey, it's good to be bad sometimes, right? The sequence is so nicely choreographed and directed that it commands your attention, and the payoff is pretty redeemable as well. I firmly believe that he's a highly underrated character, and he definitely deserves his own spin-off series, if not a solo movie. I wonder how Donald Trump would have reacted here if he were ever attacked by a teleporting assassin.
But you have no choice but to vote for me, because your 401ks, down the tubes, everything's gonna be down the tubes. So whether you love me or hate me, you gotta vote for me.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
The Russo brothers are a commendable duo who managed to give us a beautiful ending to the expertly crafted Infinity Saga. Of course, they needed to send their resumes to Disney first, and they passed the interview with Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say that this was the film that turned Steve Rogers into an internet sensation, and we have the elevator scene to thank for it.
Run.
Jokes aside, it's a badass moment that focuses on Captain America's true powers when compared to elite-level humans. Yeah, I know he's no match for Hulk or even Iron Man, but I definitely want some of that super soldier serum if it ever went into the market. Maybe I'd even make my own compound TV. Get it? Because of the boys? No? Alright, forget it.
Roger, get that door open. You got nowhere to go. Flame on!
Did I leave the stove on?
This was such a lifesaver for the X-Men brand that it actually made the creators believe they could get away with stuff like Dark Phoenix. The foul-mouthed assassin has always been a favourite in the comics, but to have Ryan Reynolds play him as if they're literal alter egos was one of the wisest decisions ever made in Hollywood. He even doubles down on his persona with the very first scene with the highway fight. It was such a fresh breath of creative air, which was a rare occurrence at the time, at least in X-Men movies anyway.
Someone's not counting. 6.
The scene in particular isn't just funny, it's gross, it's bloody, and most importantly, it's badass AF. No, seriously, which one of your favourite superheroes managed to burn an enemy's mouth while cracking a nasty joke at the same time?
I've never said this, but don't swallow.
That's right, there can only be one Deadpool.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Tell me, brother, what were you the god of again?
So if it's going to be a badass list, you know I'm going to include this Australian hunk in it somewhere. Thor has always been a core Avenger. I mean, the guy's got 4 solo movies to his name, although I'm sure he'd prefer it if Love and Thunder never actually existed. While his first couple of movies might not have set the world on fire, Thor Ragnarok turned out to be one of those rare instances where changing the tone actually helped the movie. Of course, it couldn't be a Thor movie without an epic fight scene, and we got the best of the lot right at the final battle. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Apart from the gigantic lightning blast unleashed on Hela, Thor went on to show everyone what he's capable of, even without his hammer. It was nice to see him stepping out of his comfort zone for this, and the results showed almost immediately with the box office numbers.
They're not stopping.
Neither are we.
"2016 was such an amazing year, wasn't it? Rihanna released Anti, The Weeknd released Starboy,
You have a metal arm?
and the DCEU finally decided to face off against the MCU with Batman vs Superman. Well, we all know how that went down financially, so let's just focus on the airport battle in Captain America Civil War.
Multiple contusions detected.
Yeah, I detected that too.
Now that I think about it, this was definitely a test run to see if Marvel could pull off a grandiose crossover fight scene, and once again, the Russo brothers passed with flying colours. We saw some epic showdowns happening at the same time, and it's safe to say that even a Giga Chad would approve of such a sequence. Like, bro, just look at these characters going at each other with all of their amazing superpowers. Oh yeah, and let's not forget, this was the scene that introduced us to the MCU Spider-Man. Yeah, I really want to go back in time now.
I'm really sorry.
What?
You should have thought of that earlier.
I hate you.
Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have, then I'm going to take you back in time so that you can do it again.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
You remember the Hulk, right? The angry green giant of the MCU became an icon for kids and adults all over the world.
Puny God.
And Hulk. Smash.
Not just because of his awesome powers or funny anger issues, but also because of the depth of his character. Now, all of that went to waste with She-Hulk, but hey, I'm only about positivity, right? So let's look at the first time the Avengers assembled on screen. And come to think of it, this is a combination of two scenes, but they work so well together that it's hard to consider them as separate moments. It's one thing to see Bruce Banner morphing into his overpowered counterpart and smashing a giant Leviathan with a single punch, and a whole other thing to see the OG Avengers teaming up for what would be the first of many such encounters. It just feels so right, you know? Sometimes I wish Marvel just went back to their old formulas instead of whatever it is they're trying to do now.
Maybe smash a few things along the way.
I think it's gratuitous, but whatever.
This isn't gonna change what happened.
I don't care.
When the two heroes of the Marvel Universe come together to give us a legendary final battle, it only makes sense to put it in my top 5. We all love Iron Man, and we all love Captain America, and that's exactly why this scene transcends beyond the standard perceptions of epic fights. If I'm being honest here, I was rooting for Iron Man, because come on, we all know Steve only came out on top because he had Bucky to distract Tony, and tons of plot armor of course. Yeah, that's right, over 7,000 languages in the world, and I chose to speak facts. When it comes to the encounter in itself, I don't know where to begin. I mean, the visuals are amazing, the tensions run high, and the impact is long-lasting. It went on to show us how flawed our favourite characters are, and it also set the tone for how the Infinity Saga was going to end.
I could do this all day.
You don't deserve it. My father made that shield.
Hey look, Thor's awesome Wakanda entry makes it to my top 3 once again. Just another regular day at the office, isn't it? But hey, I'm a man of morals and I strictly adhere to them. So if I see a badass list, then you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to include the God of Thunder's iconic appearance in Infinity War. I'm pretty sure I've memorized this scene by heart, and yet again, I can't get that amazing landing by our Australian hunk. Come on bro, you made an electrifying entrance and now you're showing off your new thunder axe.
Bring me Thanos!
How on earth is anyone going to be able to ignore you? Also, I just want to say that Chris Hemsworth might not be able to top this moment ever again in his life, but he doesn't need to. This has already gone down as one of the most badass scenes in superhero history.
You should have gone for the head. What did you do? I went for the head.
Wait! I love you guys.
I've never felt as energetic as I did when I saw Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire swinging webs together to defeat the Sinister Six in Spider-Man No Way Home. This is as nostalgic as it gets for millennial fans such as yours truly, and as much as I'd like to explain the feeling, I just don't have the words to justify my emotions.
Power of the sun.
In the palm of your hand.
Peter, you're all grown up. How are you?
Trying to do better.
You just had to be there to see the crowd going wild for the iconic shot. That was definitely a peak moment in film history. I could talk about how nicely executed the direction was, or even how the writing really helped the contextual importance of the story. Let's face it, we all wanted to see the Spider-Men getting together. It's such a badass moment that even Bully Maguire would shed a tear.
Thank you.
Avengers!
Assemble.
I've always been a fan of the classics, but when it comes to modern media, there's no better ending to a decade's worth of storytelling than... It's actually the first time we see Captain America using that phrase, especially after he teased us a couple of times in earlier movies. The reunions, the fights, the stakes, the ending, everything was just mwah. The scale was simply immeasurable, and the after effects surely lasted long enough for people like me to watch it a couple more times on the big screen. Say what you will about the way superhero movies have affected filmmaking, but when the output is as memorable as this, I'd say we're moving in the right direction.